Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this ASUS model GX531G. Alright, so let's see if there's any... Okay, so the exact model is GX531GS-AH76. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove this little bottom cover here. So we're going to use a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver to do this. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. So keep that in mind. The way I do that is I put them in the pattern, I remove them on my desk with the flat side down like this. Oops. Alright, so you see there's two there, and then you got these going around there. So I'll put them in that pattern on my desk, alright? And that's how you keep track of them. Alright, so once we remove these 4 screws, we're going to go ahead and lift this up. I think we need to open the screen slightly, but let's see here. Let's try with a suction cup. You can also use a piece of tape. Okay, yeah, we are going to have to lift up the thing first. You can't lift that out. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to open the screen slightly. Alright, this will get this piece to kind of pop up like this. Alright, so here you can see it's popping up like that. Once you get it to pop up like that, you can lift this side out. And then you can take this out, okay? So let me see if I can show that again. Let's go ahead and get this piece back in. Okay, it's a little tricky to do this. So let's see here. So we hook this piece back on. Let's see, how do we get that? Okay. So when you open the screen, let me see if I can show this. Then this piece can kind of unhook there. So we have to kind of open it a bit more. All right, and then we can get, there's this little gap here, as you can see, and that's where you get these little, let's see how I can show this. That's how you can get these metal pieces in there. Let me zoom out a bit more. So you can see these little protruding metal pieces. So this actually slides up into that gap, right? And here you can see it like goes up like that. Once you get it up like that, you can get the bottom in. And there you go. So now it's hooked into place. So again, you do have to open the screen up slightly like that. And if you open it up more, I think it's actually easier. So let's see. Okay, so once you open the screen up, you can actually grab this, slide it up this way. And then when you slide it up, you can lift this side out and get that. All right, so there we go. We got this bottom cover off. I am going to have to clean it out. It's a little bit dusty underneath here and over there, so you can use like a toothbrush. All right, and then I have an air blower thing that I use to kind of blow the dust out. I'm gonna clean it all out later because I'm going to be replacing the SSD on this model, so there's a lot more screws we're gonna have to remove. All right, so let's zoom in some more. All right, let's go ahead and remove all the PH0 or JS0 screws under here. Actually, are these PH0? Okay, there's a lot of screws under here. So yeah, if this is like the other one, these are little LED lights here. So when you turn it on, it lights up and then it makes a glow underneath your computer. Let's go ahead and set that panel aside. Let's see, I think actually these are PH1 or JS1 screws. So yeah, so only those 4 screws we removed are PH0 or JS0 screws. You don't want to keep using this same screwdriver or you can damage these screws and then you're going to have a tough time removing them. The fan screws, the fans here actually use the PH0 or JS0 screws as well, but we're not going to be removing those. So let's go ahead and remove the T5 or Torx 5 screws first then. So we got some Torx screws going down there, the ones that weren't hidden by that cover. So let's go ahead and remove those screws first. Again, you want to keep all those screws in order. They are different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can damage your computer, so keep that in mind. It's very important to keep the screws in order. All right. Remove all of these. If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to fix and upgrade their devices. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little bit to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, I actually do these repairs for a living. This is a customer's computer. And yeah, but as I make more of these videos, more people are able to do these repairs themselves, so I actually slowly get less business. So anyways, let's go ahead and remove these other screws. We're going to switch to the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and remove all these screws as well. Again, make sure to keep them all in order. So I like to go in rows like this, so you'll see going across there's 4 screws, and I feel that's, for me, is the easiest way to remember. But just do it however you want. As long as you keep it in the right pattern on your desk, then you'll probably be able to remember it. But for me, just doing rows helps, because even if it's like slightly zigzag, then it's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this one. If I want, I can remove this one and put it with it. Oh, this is actually a PH0 or JS0 screw, so we're going to leave that for now. I don't remember if I have to remove those to get to the hard drive. We'll see. All right, so okay, then we got one down here. Okay, then we got another one here. It's slightly underneath this cable. You want to be careful not to damage that cable, so I'm kind of holding it out of the way with my finger. All right, I don't want to damage that cable. If you tear that, then you're not going to have that LED light. All right, got the other one over here. I think I took one of these apart before. It looked like a very similar model. It's not the exact same, but it's very similar. So if I remember correctly, it's going to be a lot of work to get to the SSD. We're going to have to take pretty much everything out. All right, so there we go. Okay, let's see. What else did I have to remove? So we got all the screws out except for the fan. Oops, I missed one up here. Don't forget that screw here. Okay. All right, so now we got all of those. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually separate the layers here, or if we're gonna have to do more. So we got that, and looks like the layer, it connects right there. So as you can see, that's where we would get in, it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna open this up slightly. Let's see if I can somehow pop this out. I'm gonna turn this around. Alright, and then I'm gonna get my fingernails in that gap and see if I can pop it out. Alright, looks like it's somewhat coming out, but not exactly. Wow, this is gonna be tough. I forgot how I took it out the last time on the other model that I did. It definitely feels like it's popping out, but not completely. So let's see. To be safe, I'm probably going to remove the LED light things as well. I don't remember. I don't think they had to be removed, but we'll just do it anyways. Let's go ahead and take out using the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. We'll remove that screw. Where'd it go? There we go. Alright, so we'll remove that screw, and we'll remove this screw as well. I don't remember what's underneath this plastic piece here. Let's see if we lift it up. Okay, this is just actually to disconnect. So let's actually go ahead and disconnect the light strips just to be safe. So I'm going to flip the latch here. Oh, let me actually zoom in and show this a bit better. Okay, so we got the light strip there. Let's zoom in a bit more. Alright, so you flip up this black latch. I just used my fingernail to do that. And then once you do that, you can actually pull this cable out. If you want, you can use this brown tab here. You can grab that and you can kind of wiggle and pull it back. So you see we got this piece out. And I don't know if we should peel it off completely. I guess we will. Okay, so to peel this out, you want to pull it this way to keep it flat while you're kind of pulling it up. And just slowly peel it up just like this. I'm running my finger along here so it doesn't just suddenly tear out this cable. All right, just like this, and there we go. So here we go. We got this light strip out just like that. They actually have model numbers on here, so if you tear it, you can probably search this here, GM531GM underscore LED underscore FPC. There you can see, right? And they got some tiny numbers there. So if you need that, you'll probably want to check. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't have to remove these, but we'll just do it anyways. Right, again, let's go ahead and peel this up. You can also start from the other side first if you want, so you don't have to peel it up from this side, but I like to do this side so I can disconnect it first. Okay, so just like that. I'm going to flip that latch up again, just like the other side. Grab the brown tab, wiggle and pull it back. Same thing, pull it towards myself as I kind of pull it up, and same thing holding this down. So just like this. All right, and then pull that, and there we go. Second strip out. I think these are exactly the same. Yeah, they look exactly the same. So most likely the left and right are interchangeable, but keep them in order just to be safe. All right, so we disconnected those LEDs. I don't know if we need to take out the fan screws, but why not? Let's go ahead and do that too. Let's zoom out. Okay, zoom out a bit more. And maybe a tiny bit more. There we go. All right, also still using the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. We're going to remove the 2 screws on each fan. I don't think I need to remove those. These are probably to take the fans apart, but they're visible, so we're just going to take them out. All right, I get people asking me, do I need to remove this, to remove this, to remove this? Do I have to take this out to take this out? I mean, if you don't know, just take it out. Just follow along with what I'm doing. But usually you can watch my video and then you can tell, like, after I try and remove it, whether it's actually needed or not. Right, so here you can see this piece is on top of this fan, or the heatsink piece. So definitely we have to remove this cover. And I looked from the other side. It doesn't look like the keyboard is separately removable without removing the rest. So unless this piece is removable separate, which I'm kind of doubting it, because that's just right there. So most likely we have to somehow pull this cover off. I forgot how I did it before, but we'll figure it out eventually because we have to. All right, so let's go ahead and see if on the side here, if I can somehow separate these and pop it apart. It looks like I was able to get it separate a little bit, so you can see it's actually somewhat coming apart. And then let's go ahead and go down to where this screw is. This seems very difficult. Let's try with a suction cup actually. So suction cup here, and see if we can pull this up. I'm going to stick my fingernail in the gap here to see if I can hold that down while I'm pulling it. Nope, doesn't want to come out. So I forgot how I did this. I think I just had to yank on it really hard. I'm not really seeing a specific way to get this cover off. Okay, well, we gotta do what we gotta do. So let's try and get in here. No, it's also very tough. And let's try this side then. Same thing, just up where the palm rest is. I actually see the clips here, so you can actually see the clips in the fan vent. There's 2 clips right there and there, so those are what's holding that together. And I'm gonna try and pull this out. Okay, it's coming up. Getting all that dirt dust out. Yeah, I think it's just going to require like a lot of force to separate it. Yeah, this is going to be tough, man. Am I going to have to use my metal pry tools to do this? This is a very tough case to pop open, jeez. Okay, so we're going over, let's go over to this corner here and see if we can pull this up. Actually, it feels like when I push here on the back inside this little hole, it's pushing this back panel up, so maybe this back panel comes out separately. Looks like it. Let's go ahead and see here. I'm gonna try and pull it. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, so we're getting this back panel off first. Here you can see I just got my fingernails in there and then pulled it back. Oh, you want to be careful, there's some cables under here. All right, so here you can see, I'm not sure, oh, that's for like those little LEDs. So you got the 3 LEDs here. So again, you want to be careful. Let me see if I can show this on camera. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, this is hard to do and film it, so let's see. I think if I open the screen slightly, I can use it to as like a triangle to hold itself up. Okay, so here we go. Now, oh, now I can't pull this out because the screen's on it. Okay, I guess we can't do that. Let's close that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we got this cable. So this kind of cable, if you've watched my other videos, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to show this. Maybe like this. No, I can't get a good angle, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see. I'll stick a roll of tape under here and hold this with my stomach. There we go. That works. All right, so we got this. Ooh, I can't get it up in that right angle. Let me try something smaller. Let's try the SSD box. That will work. Okay, so now what you want to do, again, this kind of tough, sorry, I'm trying to show you guys, but this connector, to pull this out, I just get my fingernails under the edges of the lip, or the lip of the connector, and then I kind of just keep wiggling it like this as I kind of pull on it, and eventually it should walk itself out. There we go. And then this cable here, the way you remove this, so this one's much longer. As you can see, it's kind of holds it, it's long enough that it's okay. So what I do is I get my fingernails here, you pull up on this white plastic tab, and that releases it. Make sure that you get this cable back in the same way. So here you can see these metal pins on this connector, so when you put it back, you're gonna have to put that side in first. All right, so anyways, that's this LED board, and then this one, it looks like speakers. Yeah, so these are, oops, these are actually speakers. Sorry, I was going out of view, but these two pieces are speakers. The other speaker connects to this one here, and then they both go in through that wire. So if your speakers up there aren't working, that's probably why. Okay, we're going to set the SSD box away now. Let's see what else we got to do here to get this thing open. So we got most of this out. I don't know if I have to undo the 2 hinge screws here to pop the cover off. Looks like it's all one piece, so I might have to do that. The thing I'm worried about is if I take those screws out, if the hinge is going to be okay opening and closing. It's pretty crazy how they do these wires. They're on that thing, and this just swings and pulls that wire back and forth. It seems like a kind of a bad design, like it might break easily. But anyways, all right, let's see if removing those 2 screws will help. We're gonna make sure we're using the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. I mean PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. Again, there's a lot of screws in here, so if you're going to attempt this, keep in mind this is not an easy repair, not an easy job. All right, let's go ahead and try and remove these 2 screws, and hopefully it's not going to cause the thing to fall apart weird. If you want, you can mark it. They have a little arrow pointing to it actually right there, that tells you where that screw came from. Same thing with this side. So they actually have little arrows pointing to which screw you have to put back. All right, let's see if that helped at all. I don't think so. All right, so I'm not sure how this is being held together. It doesn't want to come apart. I'm probably just gonna have to use a lot more force. To be safe, I'm gonna flip these little latches back down so they don't accidentally get torn off. All right, we're gonna push this one back down as well, just to be safe. Again, I'm not too sure how this thing comes apart. Will the hinge go up okay, or is it gonna... Ooh, that's kind of scary. All right, let's open this up and just be very careful here. All right, let's see now. How can we pop this out? Looks like this plastic piece is coming up. Okay, is the whole piece coming up, or is just that piece coming up? This thing seems like it's the whole piece here. I think because I unclipped this side already here. So as you can see, if I lift this, this whole piece is actually coming up now. So there we go. That looks like that's gonna work. So you can see this side is coming up now. We're gonna have to be careful because I'm sure there's a billion cables under there. And it looks like I didn't have to remove the hinge thing. So, oops, just to be safe, I'm gonna put those 2 hinge screws back because that's a little risky having all that leverage being pulled on it. I don't want that to break the other side hinge mounts. So I'm gonna tighten those screws up pretty well, and most likely I'm gonna add some thread locker as well to them later. Sorry, I know my arm's just in the way and all you're seeing is my arm, but all right, there we go. So now we got the hinge screws back in. Again, I kind of used this, but the reason this came out was because before I was pulling on this, if you remember those clips here, okay, actually one of them, oh no, that clip looks kind of broken. Well, we'll see what we can do. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this open here. These clips are coming out a lot easier now after moving that side one. Let's see here. Should I zoom out a bunch more? I don't want to zoom out too far. There we go. All right, and we're just going across to the other side. And you want to be very careful with all the little ports and stuff there. Okay, now we're, as you can see, this is slowly falling forward. But you want to be careful because all the cables are here. So it looks like we're going to have to tilt it up the opposite way. Okay. So to remove it, you want to actually lift it up this way, it looks like. I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, awesome. So here you can see all the connectors inside. Let me actually zoom in so we can see what we're going to remove. So this is the keyboard backlight connector. We're going to flip up the little black latch there. Once you flip that up, you can actually pull this cable out. Okay, just like that. Then you got the keyboard connector here. Flip up the white latch. And then you can go ahead and grab the cable and wiggle and pull it back. Then you got the other one over here. This is for the trackpad, I'm pretty sure. So flip that latch up. And then same thing, grab that cable, wiggle and pull it back. So here we go. We got this cover off. Let's zoom out. Let's move things over so you can see everything. So we got this cover off. It's pretty dusty inside, so I'm going to clean that off. And I'll be back. We'll clean out the fans as well because that's also really dusty. And yeah. I had another customer that had one of these models and their fans were super noisy. I should probably tell them I probably can take them out. It's just quite a bit of a pain. It looks like these fans, I don't think the fans come out separately. Let me try taking out this one screw up here and let's see if it moves at all. No, I think it's attached to the heatsink, so you'd have to basically redo all the thermal paste if you do that. But there you go. Okay, and they have like a warning sticker there. All right, so it's weird. I only see one stick of RAM here. So we're gonna pull these 2 tabs to the side to pop the RAM up. And here you can see the RAM is an 8 gig PC4 2666V stick of RAM. All right, you can put another, you can change this to any PC4 2666V RAM. You can get a 16 gig stick. I don't know if underneath the motherboard, if there's another 8 gig stick or if it's just soldered to the board. This layer underneath seems very, very thin, so I doubt that there's another stick here. So it looks like you can only swap or replace or upgrade this one stick of RAM. All right, so the customer was having an issue with their SSD. The SSD is right here. It's an M.2 PCIe NVMe Kingston SSD, and it's not even reading the SSD anymore. He was saying it was like giving blue screen errors, but then he tried to, I think if it was that customer, tried to do a clean install and the SSD wasn't showing up at all. It just completely died. So anyways, you got the battery here. Okay, there's no tape here, so I'll actually take this stuff out and show you guys, but let me go ahead again and clean out the dust and I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned out all the dust. Let's go ahead and lift this thing back off. Gotta be careful with the cables, but there we go. Okay, we'll set this aside. Oh, I forgot to clean underneath this piece, so let me do that and I'll be back. All right, so I cleaned that out a bit. Set that aside as well. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the SSD in here. So we didn't have to remove the little light, the LEDs underneath. So keep that in mind. And we didn't have to remove the fan screws. But yeah, all right. So let me actually make sure this is nice and tight again. All right. So let's go ahead and replace the SSD. So we're gonna undo this latch here, the black latch, flip that up. All right, once you do that, you can go ahead and pull this blue tab out. Just grab it. It's a little bit tough. Let me actually zoom in a bit here. Actually, that might be zoomed in too much. I'm gonna end up knocking some screws over. Let's zoom back out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this blue cable out. I don't know why it's stuck in there. There we go. All right, so here you can see you can just pull this over to the side. We're gonna take the one screw out of here using the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. All right, let's go ahead and get the replacement SSD here. So it's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. We got the Samsung one because right now the price is pretty good for those. All right, so it's a 500 gig. Gonna pop this open. Go ahead and take this out of the box. All right, it comes like this. Just slide that cover off and the SSD is like that. We're gonna go ahead and pull this one out. So to get this out, you lift this up slightly, okay? All right, oh, it's kind of stuck. Did they put a thermal pad under there? Oh yeah, they did. So you gotta lift this up. I don't know if the thermal pad is causing problems, but anyways, once you got it up slightly at an angle like that, then we're gonna go ahead and pull this out just like this. So here you can see they put a thermal pad there, but it's only on the bottom right there. I don't know why. I don't know if that actually helps or if that causes problems. I think the SSD controller's right there, and that's probably why they do that. Anyways, let's get the replacement SSD. So I'm guessing the controller's right here on this one. I don't know if I should leave this thermal pad in or if it's going to cause problems. We'll just leave it. Let me straighten it out a little bit. So they actually put a little marking here to show you where the pad goes. So it goes on it at like that. Okay. Oops. Go and whatever. It just drops in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this SSD back in. You want to be careful not to damage this cable. If you want, you can actually take the two screws out here and lift that out of the way. So let's actually do that so we have a little more room and I can show you a little bit better. So take those two screws out and we can lift this board out of the way. All right, then we're just going to take the SSD here. It goes in at a slight angle. All right, so you don't want it to stick down on that thermal pad yet. There we go. Once you get it pushed in all the way, then you can go ahead and let it go down. And we'll take the one screw and put that back in. I don't know if that pad is part of the problem because it's pushing up on the back of the SSD. So it's not sitting completely flat the way it should. There's the BIOS CMOS battery here, the RTC battery. Wireless card is soldered down to this board, but the antennas are underneath this tape. Let's actually put this USB the USB ports on this audio board back in. So for some reason your audio jack board got damaged or these USB ports, you can actually easily replace this piece. Okay, as you can see, it's just 2 screws holding it in place. I mean, once you get the computer open, of course, because getting the rest of the stuff out wasn't very easy. So yeah, it's not super easy, but if you do need to change it, it is doable and it's not too bad. So there we go, we got those screws in. Make sure those screws are in nice and tight, that it's not going anywhere. And actually, let me show you the battery real quick. So the battery connector is right here. It comes out and just get underneath here, and then you just pop this up, it looks like. Yep, just like that. I just used my 2 fingernails and popped that up. And let's see if there's a battery model number here I can give you guys. Let me get the SSD and other stuff out of the way here real quick. Okay, I'm gonna put their old broken SSD away. Alright, get that out of the way. So the battery there's 2 screws holding it down here. Alright, I don't know if there's any, I think that's all the screws because all the rest were from the case that we already removed. Okay, so we'll get these 2 screws out and then I'll see if there's anything you guys need to know about this. Let's go ahead and lift the battery up. Make sure to get that out of the way. So here we go. And the battery model number is right here. C41N1805. So that's the battery model number right there. Alright, and it looks like this in case you guys need to replace it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plop this back in. Hopefully there's no other issues with this computer. We're going to pop this back in as well. Alright, make sure that's in. It might help to kind of get your hand underneath because this board does flex a lot when you press on it. So, alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and reattach this connector here. Alright, just get that lined back up. There's kind of some dust there, so let me clean that out a little. Right, get that lined up, push that back in, and then flip that latch back down. Use your finger, just slide it over. Don't try and like flip it down. You just slide your finger over the top. Right, again, BioCMOS RTC battery here. You got this little cable here, and that's for the power button, I believe. The button's there. Is that what the power button is on this board? Let me double check. Yeah, that's the power switch. Okay. Alright, and you got the LCD LVDS connector here. If you mess with this cable, make very sure that you disconnect this, disconnect the battery, and then you can press and hold this power button. It's this little dimple thing there. Let me point to it. So this right below the foam thing. So this foam thing is for the light, and then this thing below is the actual button. Alright, so you want to press and hold that for about 15 seconds after disconnecting the battery. But now that we got everything opened and stuff, you want to be careful not to touch this, not to push the power button, because it'll turn the computer on with it like this, and then you won't have a keyboard or anything to control it. Okay, let's see, I think that's pretty much it. This one is most likely the CPU, and this is most likely the GPU. I'm not 100% sure, but usually the GPU has these extra things with thermal pads over it. So that's my guess. I don't see where the camera connector is or anything like that, so it might all be combined into this one cable. Alright, and I think that's all there is to this. So we're going to put this thing back together, and then we're going to go ahead and install Windows on here. So I'm going to zoom back out so you guys can see a bit better. We're going to go ahead and reassemble these. So we're going to put these cables back in. These are a little bit tricky. Make sure these latches are up. Okay. Let's see here. What is this one? J something, J debug. So this is a debug connector. I don't think we use that. That's for, I think, when people that work on these at ASUS, maybe they have a way to use that. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this in. So this is for the keyboard backlight. First thing we're going to do is the keyboard cable, because the keyboard cable is the longest one here. You can see it stretches out like that. Basically, we're going to just get this cable in. Okay, just get that in the slot there. I'm going to try and get it in straight all at once. All right, there we go. Once you get that cable held into place, okay, make sure that it's in all the way. Then you can flip that latch down. There we go. Next, we're going to, you can do either one, whichever's easier for you. Looks like the LED one will be easier, so let's go ahead and get this down. Okay. Sorry if my head's getting in the way, I can't tell because I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Get the LED board cable in place, right? Make sure that's in, and then flip that latch down as well. There we go. And same thing with this, what do you call the touchpad, trackpad, right? Get that in. There we go, and then slide that latch down. All right, there we go. We got all of that in. We're just gonna flop this back down. Be careful not to pull this too far back here. All right, get that in, line it all up. Once you get it all lined up, just push that all back down. Okay, make sure everything is lined up. And then just go ahead and push that all down to click that all into place. There we go. Okay, we're gonna close this. Then we're gonna go ahead and look here, go all the way around, make sure that the gap is all closed, that nothing is sticking out. Looks good. All right, looks good. Looks good. Oh, this one is the broken one. So this is the one that I was talking about. This one clip is kind of coming out, so I'm gonna see if I can fix that. Let's go ahead and open this back up. I mean, we're probably just gonna end up popping that whole piece off. So let's go ahead and lift this back up. And we're gonna have to see about that one clip there. So this clip, we're gonna try and push it up. That and flip that little latch back. Oh, I can't really see with the camera in my way, so okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just snap that one off. So I'm gonna go along here and pop this case back out if I can. There we go. And let's see if I can flip it up or if it's doomed. Okay, it flips back up. I can, yeah, okay. So now we're just gonna clip that back in. Oh, and I think that piece just fell off. So let's actually just get rid of these clips. This one's kind of stuck. Maybe I should just leave it, but I'm gonna snap it off. Okay. Because we don't want these little clips coming out later and then falling inside the computer, which I think the other one did. There we go, it fell off. Okay, so this little latch fell out. We're gonna try and do the same thing with the other one. Okay, because we don't want these coming out inside the computer and then getting stuck in the fan and then causing problems. So there we go. Take that out. All right, there we go. Okay, so we should be good there. Let's go ahead and close this. Okay, now we're gonna put back this little bar here. So I don't know how I'm gonna show this on camera. I mean, you saw how it came out. So let's make sure this white tab thing is pulled back up. Okay, I guess we'll try it again with this box here. Put that back underneath, and let's see if I can zoom in a bit. I don't know how I'm going to reattach this to show it, but let's see. So get this cable here. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to show this. I guess I can do it this way. So Actually, nope, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't think I can really show this part on camera. My hand's just gonna be in the way. But anyways, you just get this cable in, right? And then while you're kind of holding it in place, I guess it's kind of showing it, then you push that latch down. Here we go. We will test that later. Anyways, now that we kind of got that, I can probably, so here you can see you can get the blue tab here. Let's go ahead and pull this white piece back up, right? Make sure that's pushed into place and then push that back in down. All right, so there you go. It's locked in. We're good. Flip this back over. Now let's go ahead and get this cable back in. Make sure you get this plugged in the right way. These part without the pin showing goes towards the back here, so you can kind of tell, because if you turn it this way you can see how close the pins are, and the pins are closer that way. All right, so let's go ahead and plug this back in. Once you get that in, just push it down. There we go. All right, that clicked into place. Good. All right, then we're just gonna flip this back over, and now that we've got that all flipped back over, just gonna, let's zoom out here, just gonna click all of that into place. There we go, everything just snaps in nicely. Let's flip this back over here. Okay, let's go ahead and actually put back the little fan screws before we forget, using the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. Hopefully I'm not missing any screws here. Oh shoot, I forgot to put back the battery screws. So now we gotta pop this all back apart. Okay, let's go ahead and pop this back up. I know it sucks, but more experience, you guys get to see more times. Okay, pop that up. I'm going to flip this over this way again. All right, pop this connector back out. Go, pop this back out. There we go. All right, the other side, since the little tabs are already broken off, it'd be a lot easier to go from this side. Okay, so starting from this side, working our way over. Here we go. I don't think I have to pull the whole thing out to put back the screws, so we're just gonna kind of work our way over here. Okay, and the way these clips work here, if you pull from the center here, it'll actually pull the cover up like this, and it will release those clips. So you actually don't want to try and pry from here. You actually want to pull from the middle and kind of bow it out like this. All right, so that way when it curves, it'll pull these clips in and make it easy to come out. That way you won't actually break those tabs like I ended up doing when I was trying to open it. All right, so hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes and don't end up breaking those clips, though the screws on the inside will help hold it, so it's not too big of a deal. It's just now it's not the way it used to be. All right, so we're gonna lift this up. Now that I got this, I can actually access the screws here. Oops, you can't even see what I'm doing. So now that I got this up, I can actually reach the screws from here and tighten them this way. Since I forgot them, we don't have to take the whole thing back out. Okay, get the other screw and get that screw back in. Okay, there we go. We got the battery screws back in. Give me back. All right. I don't think we took any of the other screws out from the inside of here, so we should be good. Let's go ahead and put this back down. Plop everything back together. All right. And make sure everything is clipped in. Go along the sides there. There we go. Let's close this up. Again, check all around the edges, make sure everything is snapped in. Looks good. Make sure there's no loose stuff inside here. Okay, sounds good. I mean, there's no sound, so that's good. All right, let's go ahead and get this back into place. Make sure that's latched in. I'm gonna try doing it this way this time, where I kind of grab this blue tab here and use that to get that into place. Oops, that might be more difficult actually. It's difficult because the cable's kind of all like bent around and stuff, but anyways, let's go ahead and grab that. Hold that into place. There we go, and push that latch down. Good. We are going to make sure that these lights come on to make sure that it's good. Okay, get this cable back lined up and plug in. Push that in. Alright, good. Get that all flipped back over. You want to make sure that this clears this. There's this piece here sticking out. You want to make sure that it clears that. Alright, and then click that in. Alright, looks good. Let's flip that over. Alright, let's go ahead now and put back the fan screws. Continue back where we left off. Okay, 2 tiny screws here. This one and this one. Alright, same thing with this fan. Again, we didn't have to remove these 2 tiny screws, or the 4 tiny screws, I guess. I think we also didn't have to remove the LEDs. We might have had to remove the screws, but we didn't have to actually remove the LEDs. Okay, so got those screws back in. Let's go ahead and make sure flip these latches up. And let's go ahead and put back these LED strips here. So got this one. Get that lined up. Get that in place. Right. It sometimes helps to use this little brown tab to help pull it, but I think it's lined up already, so we should be good. Slide that latch back down. There we go. And yep, it's holding itself in place, so we should be good. Let's go ahead and slide this back over there. Stick that back into place. Good. Don't forget the little screws for it. Okay. That one. And then we'll get this little piece of tape here and stick that back on top as well. Alright. And we'll go to the other side. Same thing. Make sure that latches up. Good. Get that cable in. Okay, come on. There we go. Wiggle that into place. Good. Slide that latch down. Okay. Drop that into place and push down that adhesive. Get that last LED screw in. Good. Get this plastic tab thingy on top again. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and get back all these screws into place. So, if you want, let's see, we'll do the underside screws first using the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. Okay, so again, we had 4 across the back here, so we got 1. Okay, 2. 3. 4. Okay. Then we had these 3, the one that we almost forgot, so there's 1 here. Then the screw that we forgot there. Alright, then we got this screw here. Okay. And we have the one up over here. Then we have one on either side over here. Be careful again with this LED strip cable. Don't want to smash that with the screw or you will damage that cable. Right, then this one over here. Then we have the 3 at the bottom. Right. Third one. Good. All right, now we have all the other weird screws. Let's go ahead and switch to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. And we're gonna put the screws down here into place. So we got the one on the side here. All right, the one on the other side over here. And we got the 4 along the bottom. That. All right, and then we got to put back on that little cover for the fans. All right, and for that we're going to switch to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. We're going to open the screen slightly here and lift it up kind of like a teepee pyramid thing. All right, just like that. And then just like before, you zoom out a bit, we're gonna slide this up into place with these little notches in this little piece, these pieces. Okay, let's turn it like this. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. Let's zoom out more. Okay, you're gonna look at my legs. There we go. Slide that in just like that. Make sure it's lifted up slightly. Get that all into place here. Okay, and then you should be able to get that down, and that's good. And now let's close this. Let's zoom back in, and we'll get the last 4 screws. And hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. If it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing to my channel. Every little bit helps. You don't have to contribute anything big. Even $1 is greatly appreciated and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. All right, thank you for watching, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this spike. So I almost forgot. I have to show how we're going to install Windows onto the new SSD. So we're going to open this up. All right, let's go ahead and put the USB in. Okay, we're going to power it up. We're going to press F2. I do see the light on here on, so that's good. Yep, looks like those lights are all working. Hard drive light flashed. So I pressed F2 to go in here. We're going to see this. We're going to press F8 from here to go to the boot menu. And we're going to select the USB drive that we have with the Windows 10 USB installer. I'm going to select Windows 10 64-bit, of course. Alright, and here you can see it's loading. Loading. Alright. Usually want to do this with the charger plugged in, so we'll plug that in a bit, but for now we're just going to boot it here. Here you can see the hard drive lights flashing, which means it's detecting if there's hard drive available. I'm going to press tab 3 times to go to the next button, press enter to install now. I don't like using the mouse for this because it's more clumsy, so I like just pressing the tabs and the enter key. So it's starting the setup. Okay, then I press spacebar to accept, enter to go, press the down arrow to go to custom, enter. Here you can see the SSD. Before the SSD wouldn't show up at all, so we should be good to go. Press enter, and the installation will go. Alright, once you do that, just follow the on-screen instructions. I don't like doing the Windows Microsoft account thing where they make you sign into your email. So when it gets to the part where it asks if I have internet, I just tell it I don't have internet, and then I create a local account. But other than that, that's all there is to it. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right.